Hi, Wendy G. Young here again, welcoming you back to the Awakening Woman Artist video series. This video is about the soul being characteristics, who you have to be to walk these steps successfully. So, the very first soul being characteristic is courage, having courageous ability to let go. Because letting go, as I mentioned in the earlier video, is the hardest thing to do. The first step, as we have heard in the past, is that it's always the hardest thing. The first step is always the hardest thing to do. But when we have the courage to go ahead and let go of what it is that we have been nudged to let go of, it sets up a whole series of events, serendipitous events, to begin to happen. And it may not be right away. So we have to, along with the courage, have trust and faith in our universe. And when I say universe, I mean Y-O-U, universe, your universe. So whether it's a way of being or a relationship or a business or where you've lived, and you just keep on getting that nudge, but something just is too scary about it, just know that this is just the way it is. It's the way it's set up. Because when we do let go, we are sending a clue to the universe, to the next set of events that are going to take us along the journey so that we can move forward, get out of the stuckness. All right? So, now, the next soul being characteristic is diligence. Diligence to discover. Now, I've matched up these soul being characteristics with each one of the 7 steps because it will help to make it easier for you to remember. At the same time, I also believe that each one of these soul being characteristics are part of each step because it's about incorporating all of them into who we are as a whole being, okay, as a whole person. So, number 2, diligence to discover. Because once we start to go in and start to survey the land, go inside and go on this exploratory mission and start to dig up things that we forgot about, it takes some diligence. Sometimes we don't want to remember. Sometimes we just want to keep it buried. We don't want to deal with it. But the problem is that when we don't deal with it, we stay where we are. We stay stuck. We might have let go, but then we can stay stuck because we're not willing to go in and take a look and start to uncover what it is that has brought us to this place. Because everything that's happening right now in our life is related to something from the past. Okay? So, diligence to stick with it, to really stay with it and keep on going, keep on digging, look around, feel comfortable with the surroundings, start to remember what life was like at that time. Okay? Just, look all around. When I did this, it was so scary. I remember calling a friend and saying, wow, I'm starting to remember all these things and I'm not liking it. And so we discussed that I would just wait till the evening when I wasn't working so that I could be free to explore. And I didn't do it every day, but it did take me quite a bit of time because I was doing this on my own. It was so rich. There was such a wealth of information there for me. I had so many ahas about my life and why I wasn't creating my art, why I was feeling the way I was feeling, why I was sad, why everything that was happening in my life was happening. So now, once we've done this and we've connected to our courage and our diligence, the next soul being characteristic is resilience. Resilience to release. Because once we're in there and we allow ourselves to stay, we start to feel we start to feel what it was like back then. Okay? And so it's going to take a bit of resilience. So we feel what we were feeling, feel it fully, heal that part of ourselves, and let it go. Release it. Release whatever it is that we were feeling that was stuck in ourselves for decades. Okay? So we want to be able to bounce back. We want to be able to bounce back so we can go back and discover some more, so that we can move to the next step. Okay? So after we have experienced our resilience in releasing, we get to go back and look and see the gem. So we have to actually be willing to do this, because we can let go, we can use our courage to let go, we can be diligent about discovering, we can be resilient about releasing, and then we can sit on the couch. Nah, that's not for me. There's no gem in there. Nah. We have to be willing to go and look. So we go back in, we take a look. Oh my gosh, there's my gem. There's my gift. Wow. Oh my gosh. Wow, I have not been owning that. People have been telling me I am that is me. That is my gift. But I've said no, I've been denying it. Okay, well, let me go and grab that. Let me take it into my heart and let me feel that. Let me experience that. It's at a different level. So it takes willingness to own. And so now that we have had the willingness to own and we walk to the next step, this is about honoring. So it's about now having the awareness about what to honor. Looking back on our past, being willing to look back on our past, willing to be aware, having the awareness of what is in our past that we almost trashed in a way, that we dissed, that we for whatever reason, life was moving fast, life was busy at that time, there was so much to do that we didn't honor this part of ourselves, honor our accomplishments. So once we have the awareness about what to honor, we can begin to honor that. And I'll be explaining more about how to do some of these things in the next video. So after we have done this, then we move to the next step, which is celebrating. Oh, and I have to look here. Yes, it's about grounding. This is the first time that I've actually ever presented this live like this without notes. So yes, we want to be grounded. So if we're celebrating our life, we're celebrating everything that we've accomplished up to this point, and we're going out into the world to share our stories, to show off our artwork, to show off our creativity, to tell our stories about how we did it all. We're reaching out into the world. We want to be grounded. Yes? I mean, anything that we do in life, we have to be very grounded. As I mentioned earlier, we're multi-dimensional beings. So we are going to encompass all of these soul being characteristics and many, many others. These are just the ones that I identified as far as awakening the artist, in you, to, bringing this artist out into the world, to really taking a look at it. These are the main characteristics that we have inside already. It's just about giving ourselves access to these characteristics, okay? We have this, we have more. We have everything that we could ever require inside of us. It's just about going in and tapping it, okay? So, after we have found our grounding, been grounded in our celebration, then we move into the last step, okay? Embodying. And we have to be tenacious. Embodying is multi-layered all by itself. Like for me, once I was able to own that I was an artist, this was October of 2011, when I started to own this part of myself, I started to draw and to really own this part. And then several weeks later, I did a whole new level of drawing and created a product. I created a coloring book. So it was many, many layers of embodying. I had to really find my comfort, really get to the place where I felt like the artist, where I started to walk around and say, oh my God, I'm an artist. I'm an artist. Oh my God, it's my dream. I'm an artist. It took a while for me to really feel that. And I still do that sometimes, where I'll be walking along and all of a sudden I'll feel this gratitude, this excitement. Wow, I'm an artist, because I've been embodying it all along. And each one of these steps, we walk over and over and over. And each time we walk it, we're just going deeper and deeper and deeper into the well. So, what I'd like to add now is, if you're intrigued at all with these steps, if you're curious how these steps might be playing out in your life, and perhaps you want some help with it, go ahead and drop me an email, wendy@awakentheartist.com, and we'll set up a time to chat and see how I can help you and how you may benefit from these steps, from walking these steps in your life. So the next video, I'll be explaining a little bit more about how to walk these steps, some of the action steps to take, some of the actionable items that you can take. All right, see you then.